Okay, this is Patrick Coleman, turning in my Psychomotor domain playlist vlog. Um, I had a couple directions to go on this. I'm a chemistry teacher, but I've also coached a lot of cross country and track and field over the years, and the coaching aspect, finding a psychomotor domain playlist for different coaching skills, hurdling, pole vaulting. I saw one student emailed me a discus playlist, which I thought was excellent as a track coach. I appreciated. Those seemed kind of easy. And I wanted to challenge myself a bit on this, so I went the chemistry route. And I tried to force this a little bit, so I hope you appreciate that, because really I wanted something that I knew I could use. And a big skill that I struggle with, especially with my kind of intro to chemistry kids, is performing titrations. It's a bit tedious, and you have to be very kind of on top of things, and you have to have a decent attention span, and you have to pay attention to precise little measurements during the course of a titration, and that doesn't come naturally to high school students. So it's something I require of all my chemistry students. They all have to successfully perform a titration at some point to pass my class. But like I said, it can be like pulling teeth at times for some of my kids. So I wanted to try and use this to help me kind of improve my methodologies, I guess, as far as helping the students perform their titration. So that's the specific skill I focused on, and kind of my reasoning for doing that. Okay, a couple different videos. I'm going to look at my cheat sheet. Hope you don't mind. The first one, I believe, is carrying out a titration. It's titled Carrying Out a Titration. Really good demo on using, the reason I like that is they show how to use a volumetric pipette to very precisely measure out specific quantities of your acid, your base. They even do a real nice close-up about a third of the way in of the bottom of the meniscus, and then they're taking great pains to line the bottom of the meniscus right up with kind of the volumetric line, and also the way the gentleman says pipette, just I can't get enough if I could listen to him say that all day. Good stuff there. There's another video entitled Performing a Titration, and it was actually processed with titration setup. So it was by the same gentleman, same channel, and it did say I could take it. Your instructions said I could take advantage of that, so I wanted to. First, the titration setup. He talks about he's real technical. Talks about sodium hydroxide being hygroscopic. So he mentions, for instance, you'd have to take that into account and perform some sort of mass adjustment because the sodium hydroxide is going to absorb water just simply during the massing process, absorb moisture from the air. So that level of precision I thought was great and would really pay off, for like an AP chemistry section, something like that. Now, the same gentleman is the person performing the demo in the next video, which is performing a titration, and he's just good. I mean, he's just very clear, gives very concise explanations. Each step's great. Just a great job by that instructor, and just a real solid breakdown of each and every vital step of a titration. Well done. I would hope to give the same demo at some point, maybe a couple years further into my career. So he just does a great job, and I just think it's a great all-in-all explanation and demo for kids to view. There were two other videos that were done by students, and I personally value that. I actually did one of my videos for this class, having my students do, and that's something I want to start. That's a direction I want to move in. I really, really like the idea of students using YouTube or using the web to teach other students via web demos. I think that's I think chemistry really lends itself to that. And the old adage is, you learn 50% of what you hear, 60% of what you hear and write down. And yeah, I don't remember the details, but I think it ends with you remember 99% of what you teach to someone else. So I really think that's pretty much what we should be striving for in a classroom. Getting one student to teach another student is just philosophically something I really value. But there's 2 videos by students. The one is called Titration Demonstrations, and I take that back. I actually think that's the first video in the playlist. And the kids are being a little bit silly. They're being kind of dorky, and I sense some sarcasm there from them. But it's good natured. I find it entertaining. I think my kids would find that entertaining. And little stuff stood out to me in that video, like just they do a close-up and specifically describe what an open pipette handle looks like versus what a closed pipette handle would look like. And that's the kind of thing that I might take for granted. But like an intro to chemistry kid in my school, that would benefit them. That might be a legitimate question for a small segment of my students. So I thought the video did a good job of really handling the very basics. And certainly I value that. And the other thing I'd say is, like, some of the other technical demos, like the gentleman that I really like doing the titration setup and performing a titration, they totally neglect that sort of stuff. There's just a lot of assumed knowledge during these technical college professor style demos. So the kid demos are good from that sense. I gotta be honest with you, the second student demo was called Tutorial on Titrating. I found the video quality to be pretty grainy. I didn't think the sound quality was that good. The kids weren't as good. They were very stiff and not trying to do anything to spruce it up, or just no sense of humor at all. So I think it was probably the weakest video. It did go through the steps of a basic titration, but I gotta come totally clean here. I think the first 4 videos I really like. The tutorial on titrating, that video, I gotta be honest, I probably at the end of the day had to add that one to make my quota of 5. I don't know if I'll use that. It was hard finding these. I found a lot of mislabeled stuff, mistagged stuff, people just wanting you to watch their videos. I had to sit through a lot of junk, so this took me a lot more time to find good quality titration videos than I thought it would. And really, at the end of the day, I pretty much found 4 good ones. And I found a 5th that addressed it. I just didn't think it was a good one. That one I would probably set aside and not show kids, but I included it. So that's it. I appreciated the assignment. I got a lot out of it. I will definitely be using these videos in April, which is when I do my titrations with my kids. So this was an assignment that will directly benefit me in the classroom and benefit my kids at Euclid High this spring. And that is it. Thank you, and good day.